had been a long, hot summer. It is a busy time for all the engines. The sun was shining brightly. One day, Thomas had been sent to the washdown with Annie and Clarabel. There are places and faces that are old and new. There are bridges and tunnels that engines puff through. There are hilltops and cliff tops to climb and explore. There are rivers and railways and much, much more. Engines were carrying passengers and goods up and down. Thomas filled up with water. He felt very happy. Suddenly there was a whoosh and a wheesh and a clackety-clack as a streak of silver roared by on the track. There are some very fast engines on the island of Sodor. There's Gordon, of course, who pulls the express.
One morning, Gordon was taking passengers to Brendam Docks. Diesel, Harry, and Bert were shunting flatbeds. They clanged and banged loudly. That made Gordon grumpy.
Out of my way! Express coming through!
That made Diesel devious.
Out of my way! Flatbed coming through! You think you're so grand, but you're not!
Gordon glared at the Diesels.
I am Gordon. I am blue and grand. You are smelly diesels. You are yellow and stripy. Yellow and stripy is not grand.
Gordon sniffed snootily. Then he whooshed forward grandly.
Was that an engine? I don't know.
There's Knapford Station, with its hustle and bustle. Tidmouth Sheds, to rest and relax. And then there's Brendam Docks. At Brendam, there's always something new to discover. One morning, Percy was at Brendam Dock, but the boat was late. Percy had to wait.
I don't like waiting, Cranky. Really useful engines huff and puff.
Cranky cranked.
Really useful engines learn to wait.
Then, Salty trundled over.
There's a fog a-rolling in, me hearties. I can feel it in me pistons. You'd best look out for the monster of Brendam.
When his friend, Hero, pulled up alongside him.
Hello, Hero. How are you today? Oh, you're looking ever so shiny. Have you been polished? Where are you off to? Knapford? I'm going to Knapford.
Thomas, so many questions. Why don't we go together? I'll see how many I can answer on the way.
Thomas the Tank Engine loves having buffers and a boiler that bubbles. He loves having wheels and a whistle that toots. Emily saves the world. It was a...
James was the brightest red engine on the island of Sodor. His bright red paint made him feel very proud, and it made him feel very special.
It's usually helicopters that have propellers or aeroplanes, not railway engines.
Yes, sir. And knowing this, my propeller is always switched off before coming into a station. It does not start up again until I'm fully clear of the platform.
And does this propeller make you go as fast as they say it does, Hugo?
Hugo's the fastest engine in the world.
Incredible.
Is he really? Carry on, Hugo. Off you go now.
When he first came to the island of Sodor, he challenged Gordon to a race.
On your marks?
Thomas rattled and raced towards the bridge. Sir Topham Hatt had sent Thomas to help Jack and his friends at the construction site. They were busy working on the foundations for the new community center. Patrick was pouring concrete for a new platform.
It was early morning and Thomas and his friends were just waking up when the Fat Controller came to see them. It was high summer and the busiest time of year on the island of Soden.
Percy huffed and puffed to the washdown.
There was always plenty to do, and Scruff and Whip were never happier than when they were collecting garbage. He was doing his favorite job, pulling the mail train. But sometimes tracks get damaged. Then they become buckled and bumpy.
Gordon's favorite job is to pull the express.
Thomas liked windy days, and sometimes Thomas liked to race the wind. They toot hello as they pass each other on the hills. Gordon was taking passengers across the island. He felt magnificent.
He loves speeding along his line with the wind blowing across his funnel.
One summer morning, Edward arrived at the docks. He had to pick up some heavy pipes. Gordon and Thomas were already there. Thomas was very excited. A new crane had just arrived on the island. He looks so strong, puffed Thomas. I'm sure he could even lift you up, Gordon, he chuckled. Gordon didn't think this was funny, and Thomas chuffed away. That crane might be big, Gordon sniffed, but he has no engine. Then there was trouble.
Oh, what is it?
He doesn't need coal and water. He needs to keep his battery charged instead. One day, Stafford was on his way to pick up some flatbeds of timber when Thomas went past him. Hello, Thomas!
Hello, Stafford!
A group of children were standing on the bridge at Wellsworth Station. One day, Henry and Hero went to fill up their tenders with coal. The switch. Millie, the narrow-gauge engine, loves her job at Ulstead Castle. She loves being a really useful engine and doing whatever needs to be done on the estate. Luke is also a narrow-gauge engine, and he loves his job at the Blue Mountain Quarry. He feels right at home in the noise and the dust. He loves collecting crushed stone and carrying boulders. He really loves whooshing through the dark tunnels and bursting out the other side. One day, Luke was given a job that took him out of the quarry.
But he still wanted to set a new record.
Hey, Salty! Why are pirates called pirates?
I don't know, Charlie. Why are pirates called pirates?
Because they are!
Montague is a little green tank engine. Meanwhile, Percy had delivered the mail and was puffing back to meet Stephen at the junction. One day, Bill and Ben were making their way along the main line. And he shows visitors around the estate. But Stephen is very slow. Especially when Thomas has to wait for sheep on the line.
If you climb the highest mountain, cross the river deep, maybe you'll find it's never as easy as it first appears. Just remember
delighted to see all the passengers. But Gordon was not delighted to see Henry. "Keep your smelly freight away from my passengers," grumbled Gordon. "But it's only logs," chuffed Henry. "Passengers and freight do not mix."
Why, Edward, there seems to be more mail than usual tonight. A lot more.
That's because tomorrow is Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day? What's that?
It's when people send cards or flowers or give gifts to the ones they love.
The engines were splattered and sploshed with mud.
Just then, Sir Topham Hatt arrived.
But don't you have to go to Knapford Station?
Percy didn't want to listen. But then, Harry and Bert arrived.
Rosie is a really useful engine. She likes to work hard whenever she can. But Rosie is not as strong as some of the other engines. Rosie wants to do a good job today. Can you help her choose which job she can do best? At the docks, there is a big load to take to the quarry. Is this the best job for Rosie? No, Rosie is not strong enough to move this heavy load. Rosie will have to look for another job. At the depot, there was a big heavy load to take to the suspension bridge. Is this the best job for Rosie? No, Rosie is not strong enough to move this heavy load either. At the balloon factory, there is another load. It has to go to the school in time for the children's party. But this load isn't heavy. It's balloons. Balloons are light. It's the perfect job for Rosie. Rosie may not be strong, but she's still really useful. Well done, Rosie. Sir Topham Hatt had some important news. The carnival train is waiting at Brendam Docks. Rosie was excited. She hoped Sir Topham Hatt would ask her to pull the carnival special. Emily, you must pull the carnival special. Rosie was disappointed. He could lift them harder and faster than any other engine. Spencer is a very special engine from the mainland. He belongs to the Duke and Duchess of Boxford. It's very fast, very shiny.
Then they puff their proudest, puff their hardest.